Hey, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Little Smoky, but this is a smoker I built last year. It's kind of small. It's probably only like 36 inches long, and it's probably it's roundish. And it's got a little wood box down here, and this is the spot where you would lay anything to smoke. It's got a rack on the other side there where it can hang some things, hams and such, and just a big open space in the bottom where I sometimes put the fire down in there and sometimes in the box. Just depends on the amount of heat I want. So anyway, I thought, why not use the hottest day of the year to build a big fire and sweat my ass off. I'm already sweating now. I'm sweating like a $2 whore at a Shriners convention. But anyway, that's a Little Smoky. We're going to get some wood going here. We got some hardwood to split up and chuck it in there. You can use any kind of hardwood pretty much, as long as you're not using certain woods like poplar, birch. Don't use birch, very oily smoke. And oak's okay, maple's pretty good. Maple's about one of the better woods to use, in my opinion. Any fruit tree wood, which I don't have a ton of, but I'll be adding the fruit wood on top for the smoke flavor. It's not going to be the main component of my fire and source of heat. That's coming from oak and maple, which we're going to split right now. All right, let's see how many pulls it takes to get this thing going. It hasn't run in 8 months. A little bit of gas. Looks like some water in there. Alright, I'm going to get the fire going here. I just use a little bit of charcoal in the bottom just to get the fire started. Then I'll start throwing the hardwood on top. I got a couple old pieces of apple in here. You don't have to worry about that. We're just going to make a little fire. Okay, we'll just let that go for a while. Okay, so I got a few other things to do while I'm waiting for that to heat up. So a little bit of welding work for some students. So not welding, but forming. So let's get that going. Whew, man, what a hot one. It is so muggy here. Well, I got ice here from my chickens. I had to give them some crushed ice. get them to stop laying hard-boiled eggs. So, no, what I really got my eyes for? Some bud on ice. Oh, need that today. Ooh. So what I got to do now, while that fire's getting going, I got to make some metal products for some brackets for some lovely young ladies that are going to school at Dalhousie University. They have a big architecture project, and this is something they need for that. We may be visiting that project a little later, maybe today. So here we go. This is what I had before. They made some changes, so I have to make these a little longer. So basically I have to redraw them completely. So anyway, I'll get back to you when it's time to cut. Alright, got some coals going there. Get a little bit of wood on here. Little piece of apple there. We'll let that go for a little while. And once that, it'll build a little fire and then it'll die down a little bit. That's when I'm ready to put the meat on there. So we don't want a lot of real high heat with a lot of flame. Woohoo! That's good. So I'm done with metalworking for a little while. Thought I'd get that pork shoulder ready, go on a smoker. I think it's all ready to go. I had this piece of stainless sheet here. I thought I'd set it up on these sawhorses and use that for my prep table. So it's been out here in the weather a while. I thought I'd clean it up. And I was dragging my hand down the side here, and I didn't think it would be that sharp because it's been out here for a while, but it just carved right into my hand. It was right through there. So it's funny, after me making fun of Chris there the other day about bleeding all over my shop. Oh well, shit sometimes comes back to haunt you. So let's get this pork going. I'm not looking forward to rubbing that salt rub into it, so I'm going to try and be real careful not to use this hand, but oh well, I deserve whatever I get. That is one big pork shoulder. Just got to get a knife. Okay, so when you're smoking something, it's very important that you trim off most of the fat that you can, all the big lumps of fat you want to get off of there. Second reason is because this was a big boar. He wasn't in his breeding season or anything like that, but he was an intact boar. They can have a strong flavor to them, and this is why he's being smoked, is because the smoking process and the seasoning process should eliminate most of that. There may be the odd piece that you would bite into and find a bit of a gaminess to it. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to trim all this heavy fat wherever I see big lumps of fat. Just going to trim that all off. Anything that seems disagreeable, little fragments of bone from cutting it up, just trim all that off. There's more than enough. You don't have to worry about wasting it, because I guarantee you half of this will probably end up getting thrown out anyway. So okay, I've got as much of the fat off as I'm gonna take off of it. With pork, I mean, the fat goes all through anyway, so you just get as much off the surface as you can. Now I'm gonna give it a good cleaning, and then pat it dry, get my rub on there. Okay, now we'll just give it a little pat, get the water off it. Okay, we've got it pat dry. Not real dry, I mean it's just not soaking wet. We've got our dry rub. I couldn't tell you exactly what it consists of because my wife mixed it up before she went to work, and she doesn't like to be on camera, so she wouldn't tell me on camera what it was. All I know is it consists of a lot of salt, fair bit of sugar. Brown sugars are better than white sugars. If you can get any kind of honey in there or maple, anything like that, it's just going to come out great. You know, you just play around, and I'm sure there's things like cayenne and a few little hot spices in there as well. Probably some garlic powder, things like that. So you're just going to spread it on real thick and literally like pat it on there. Real thick, because a lot of it's going to wash off as it bubbles the grease out of this thing. You know, if you're lucky, a little bit of this stays behind and seasons it real good. With the shoulder, I'm not doing the underside because that's mostly bone and such. So you'd generally be carving and kneading it from the top side, and very likely the under parts are going to get thrown out anyway. So if they're not as seasoned as much, but all this stuff will drain down to the bottom anyway. So I don't know if you were expecting a cooking show from me today, but I figured, what the hell, may as well film it. I was going to do it anyway. So you want to get all your mix on there and all the little nooks and crannies. Don't want to waste none of that good stuff. Get her on there real good. Okay. That looks good. Good God, this is heavy. Oh. Get it positioned just right. Don't want it too much over the heat. And we're ready to close her down. It's a lot of work, man, but it's worth it. Oh, it's worth it. That's about 55 pounds of pork shoulder right there. That was a big pig. Well, you've seen them. You never get a pork shoulder that big. And there's nothing else you can do with it. So to make something good to eat. So little Smokey's been running almost 3 hours now. And look at that thing right there, man. Isn't that beautiful? Good God, that's going to be delicious. 55 pounds of pork. What the fuck am I going to do with that? I'm going to eat it. That's what I'm going to do. Well, at least it's starting to cool off a little bit. The sun went down. Oh, what a brutal day, eh? I don't know what it was like where you live, but it was hot here, and I know it's not that hot compared to a lot of you guys in the States, and, well, a lot of you guys are from down under, but I guess it's wintertime, huh? So it can't be too bad. But I know it's hot, so why don't you tell me, how hot is it? I'm asking you, how hot is it? It's so hot